Hello, my name is Megan O'Mara. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be going over Feng Shui. The basics of it, because it is a very complex art form, but I would like to supply you guys with some knowledge about arranging your living room or your workspace in college. It might be both, to create the most balance and harmony between your inside and outside natural world. In other words, we're going to be trying to get energy flowing in harmony the best we can in your space. To begin this video, we're going to start with the 4 main principles of Feng Shui, and then I will be providing some examples and keeping it realistic about what you can do in college to create more Feng Shui within your space. Qi has a lot to do with Feng Shui. As we touched on in my last video, Qi is an ancient energy source that permeates from every living thing. So in Feng Shui, maintaining a smooth and flowing Qi throughout your space can lead to negative energy leaving your space as opposed to it staying there and being stagnant, which can be detrimental to physical and mental health. The second principle that I would like to touch on is the commanding position. The commanding position is essentially where you're going to spend the most time in the room. It refers to a spot in the room that's furthest from the door, but not in a direct line with it. What I mean by that is if you are designing the Feng Shui of a room, where you'd place the bed, or if you were going to an office, where you place the desk. Again, it's where you're spending the most time, and I'll provide an example. So here's the example that I was referring to. Obviously the first one, it just doesn't look right. The bed's not up against the wall. The second image, the bed is up against the wall, but it's not in the correct commanding position because it's not furthest away from the door. The third photo, as you can see, the space flows nicely. You walk in, there's ample room. That's because the bed is in the commanding position. Another easy way that I was able to figure out commanding positions when I first started looking into Feng Shui is if you think about it from like a survival tactic, where you would have the most advantage and where you'd be the safest is where you want to place those big items. So for a bed, as you mentioned, you want to place it against a wall with no windows surrounding you and a clear line from the door where you can see someone walking in, but you're still far away from the door. So that's kind of a cool thing about Feng Shui, is it's almost a safety precaution as well. Okay, this is a bag of map. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I think it's a little bit irrelevant for Feng Shui within a college setting because you're just going to move. But these are 9 quarters: career, children, fame, family, health, helpful people, love, wealth, and wisdom. It's a map that's placed over your floor plan to create the best layout for balancing these different kinds of energy within the home. I would recommend uploading this to ChatGPT, taking a picture of your dorm room and asking how best to apply if you're interested in this. But since we stay in our college residence for such a short amount of time, I wouldn't focus too much on this. Okay, the last principle of Feng Shui that I will be touching on is the 5 elements. So earth, metal, wind, water, and fire. These are really fun to figure out how to incorporate into your dorm room. I think for metal, you could do little metal baskets. For earth, earthy tones, pictures of nature, pictures that you took. For wind, you could do a little bamboo plant where the leaves blow in the wind. Water, lots of blues. Fire, I always think soft lighting is really nice to come home to, especially when you've spent all day in kind of stressful yellow lighting, as my friends and I call them hospital lighting, classrooms. So you can really play around with this and make the space your own, but I will provide some examples. Okay, so here is one of my rooms in college. I put this together by myself for about $80 on Facebook Marketplace, but what I really struggled with here was the commanding position. As you can see, the room has 2 windows, and this is taken from the position of the door. So technically, my bed would still be in the commanding position. I know that college rooms don't have the ideal layout, but as long as your bed is anchored against a wall, the rest of the room should flow with great Feng Shui. I have another image coming up of me balancing the 5 elements in my room, so you'll see a lot of bronze, a lot of soft lighting that just works really nicely with all of the natural colors in the room, providing just a relaxing and Feng Shui-esque environment.